Welcome back. You're still watching the Daily Debate, and I'm honored to be having with me over the phone Dr. Mohammed Halim, the political analyst and the member of the Egyptian Council for Foreign Affairs. Thank you very much, Dr. Mohammed, for being with us tonight on the Daily Debate.
My pleasure.
Dr. Mohammed, of course, we have seen the inauguration of Donald Trump for today as the 47th U.S. President. How do you see the priorities of Donald Trump for the upcoming term? And more specifically, do you think that he will be revisiting the same policy of America first in the upcoming 4 years as well?
Right. Today's word of Donald Trump, actually, after his own constitutional and presidential oath, actually, would seem to be quite giving the top priority for the establishment and the fortification of the United States of America, actually. In his own words, actually, he did underline the importance, of America passing through the golden age, which is very much metaphorically expressed and significantly and straightforward, representing his own deep interest and prime preoccupation with, as I've just said, the fortification of the American existence, not only within, his own territorial land of the world, but actually within the whole globe, actually. As a matter of fact, his own word will explode in today's, terminology that we will be able to restore our own strength, our extreme sense of power, his own self-confidence, as it was his own habitual word during his own first term and his own first tenure. Actually, in the meantime, was very much self-confident man. Representing in the power and the fortification of the American situation, and
yes.
The extent to which the U.S. will be the most powerful and the most expanded source of nation in the whole world, and that it will become always an advantage, actually, more secure and more stable. Concerning, his own word, actually, he's very much interested in representing the internal situation of the American, citizen, minimization of the taxes and America first. And in the meantime, he's very much interested in his own inaugurative speech to represent his own potentiality and his own extreme sense of ability of restoring Canada and Panama Canal as well. The source of the thing that would seem to be quite ambiguous, because they didn't, illustrate the ways and the means, so the aid of which he would seem to be able to restore, legally these two the distinctive parts of the world. In much the same way, as it was his own habit indeed during the first tenure, that he is always criticizing the previous government and the previous tenure of Joe Biden, actually, insofar as it failed, actually, in its own treatment of a large number of files, such as the immigrants file, as much as the problematic situation of the border lines, and in the meantime, representing how the American citizen was very much liable to be under legal oppression, actually, of the foreigners, of the criminals, and of the sort of the immigration. We would have to be, agreeing on one main fundamental fact, which is, the one who would get into the White House will be, ruling America. But in the meantime, the one who gets into the Oval Office, actually, will be, able to rule the whole world. And that's the case with Donald Trump representing every now and again signs of power and the sense of, in the meantime, investment for Joe Biden, for his own government, for his own external as much as internal policies. And in the meantime, I think that the whole world, after his own inaugural speech, will be very much, aware and conscious of his own advantage to the team, to the American team, and the allies, Europe, the Middle East, and of dealing with a large number of issues, of which perhaps the whole world would seem to be quite suspicious, I'd really say. And much same way that the inaugurative speech, actually, his own decision, would seem to be quite representing, some signs of panic or fear that he might be assassinated for a second time, actually. That's why he's very much cautious and very much evasive in his own insistence on inaugurating his speech into the inside of the building, not outside, inside, not outside. And in the meantime, representing, how he was very much concerned as representing America, passing through a golden age, very much optimistic sort of period, and very much there and then criticizing the previous government and the previous reign of Joe Biden, representing a large number of issues that will be examined during the course of his own Biden in the White House. He would seem to be, every now and again, very much concerned with breaking the ice between the U.S. on the one hand and China on the other.
Yes.
Wouldn't share in the meantime that he wouldn't like to be very much, criticizing him in almost every bit and piece because, what seems to be quite in his own hidden agenda that he will be, following a peaceful negotiative road rather than the previous reign or period of, of tussling and struggle that was very much criticizing the period of Joe Biden. And I think that he has got more than 100 decisions, about energy, about immigration, about the presidential pardon on those who are to be indicted, on the 6th of January, and 6th of January, and in the meantime, representing the emergency cases concerning energy and oil, because there will be a large number of decisions and a large number of issues that will be taken. And in the meantime, fortifying the American army, and in the meantime of changing at times the legislation. Concerning the procedures that will be taken into consideration about immigration, I think that it has to be abided by the Congress. And in the meantime, he would like to, what you might call in other words, the iconic American dream, and would like to restore the American dream again, and to establish a royal interest of America, of distinction, of superiority, of sovereignty, and of sovereignty, actually, the sort of the thing that America once had during his own first tenure, or his own first period of reign. Concerning the external files, I think that, the Russian file would seem to be quite, solved.
Yes.
And signs of the Russian file would loom large. And so far as, in Syria, you can really find that Russia would leave a couple of places in Syria, in much the same way that this would, underline the fact that the departure of the Russian troops from Syria in terms of putting an end for the war in Ukraine. And this is another sort of thing that would seem to be quite looming large by his own advance, in much the same way that his own speech with Zelensky and with Macron in France would, insinuate a large sign of stabilizing and putting an end for a large number of issues, as much as the sort of the struggle, the sort of the problematic situation in Gaza Strip. I think that his own advance, or before his own advance to the American scene, about 24 hours, everything would seem to be quite a bit solved, actually, particularly the problem of the captives and the problem of, reaching to a ceasefire, despite the fact that, we wouldn't have to be a bit optimistic about, signs of solving the Gaza Strip file, because during his own first tenure...
Yes, Doctor, a lot of issues will be awaiting the U.S. President Donald Trump for the upcoming term. Dr. Mohammed Halim, the political analyst and the member of the Egyptian Council for Foreign Affairs, thank you very much for being with us tonight on the Daily Debate over the phone. And this brings us to the end of the Daily Debate for tonight. Thank you for watching, and I'll be seeing you next week. And goodbye.
The game got played in his house. You got win, you lost. To the White House. America has given us an unprecedented. What will day one of Donald Trump's second term?